Hello everyone. It's been a long time since my last video. I reckon it must be about 2 years ago that I made my final Polestar video before the car went back to the lease company. I'd had it for a couple of years, and as I explained in that video, it was time to look for a replacement. And I ended up going with a Tesla Model Y. Now, I had planned to make some more videos, and I thought, it'd be great to do some videos on the Tesla and any other electric cars we get. But I just didn't find I had any inspiration to make any more videos. And I just found that work was getting in the way of having free time to do that kind of thing. And if I'm perfectly honest, it probably was the Polestar that I wanted to share information about. It felt like to me that was a car that was different, it was unusual, and there wasn't a lot of content online, whereas the Tesla Model Y has loads of videos you could watch. So I kind of lost interest and just stopped making videos. But here we are 2 years later, and I just wanted to talk a bit about my plans moving forward for cars, and also perhaps for making a few more videos. So I took a 3-year lease on the Tesla Model Y. It is just over 2 years, and that means I decided to start looking at other options for cars. The electric car market has changed so much over the last few years. There are some incredible cars out there, and while the Tesla's great for sure, there's no doubt that other manufacturers really have worked very hard to catch up and possibly even exceed in certain areas. So what inspired me to make this video was spending the last couple of weeks doing some research and thinking about what the next car might be. And what it did is it led me all the way back to Polestar. The Polestar 3 and 4 were released last year. I hadn't really paid much attention, to be honest, because I assumed that the price of both of those cars would be a little bit above my monthly lease budget, just based on the cost of actually buying those cars. But when I looked at some leasing options, I realized that actually they're not more expensive than the amount of money I'm paying for my Tesla Model Y. If anything, the Polestar 4 was coming in at a better price. So what I decided to do was book a test drive up at Polestar in Battersea. If you've been to Battersea, it's a really nice new development of the old power station. And in there, they have a Polestar showroom. It's like, I guess, like a dealership. They've got 3 cars available. You can book test drives. And it was a really nice experience. They let you take the car out on your own, and I think we had about an hour to drive around. It's a little bit tricky driving in that part of London because you have to try and find a route that will get you to faster roads if you want to try at higher speeds. Very much city driving. Now, when I booked the test drive, the only option was the Polestar 3. So we thought, well, we'll go for that, not really knowing whether the 3 or 4 might be more interesting. So we didn't get to drive the 4. But what was really interesting was having a look at both of those cars. So at first we were thinking the 3 might be the better option as a family car. It's got a really nice big boot, and it was very nice to drive. It's got this air suspension that I've never experienced before, that it almost feels like the car's floating in certain scenarios. So you don't feel like the little rumble and the little bumps that you feel in many other cars. Now, the Tesla Model Y, I have to be honest, is not very comfortable on the road. It's good at motorway driving on smooth roads, but on some of the more rural countryside type of driving that I do around my area, the Tesla is very uncomfortable. There's no denying that. It is not the most comfortable car to be in. All the vibrations from the road, all the little knocks, little bumps, you feel that all the way through the seat into your body, and it gets quite irritating. But there's no doubt something like the Polestar 3 is a totally different kind of ride. Maybe some people won't enjoy that. They'll prefer something like the Tesla. But if you want something that's super comfortable, the Polestar 3 is definitely worth looking at. It's got an incredible sound system. We tried the one with the Bowen Wilkins sound system inside the car, and it's got this active noise cancelling. It is one of the quietest cars I've ever driven in. And it's really comfortable place to be. The interior quality is very good, but there are a few things that we really didn't like about it. It's got this piano black center console that is, you can just tell it picks up all the fingerprints. It looks dirty. It doesn't look very clean. Really odd kind of thing to have in such a premium car, because it kind of looked a bit cheap and plasticky. But that was the only issue, really. The boot space is really good. Not as big as the Tesla. Almost nothing is. But yeah, great car to drive. So back at the showroom, we thought we'd have a look at the Polestar 4. And as a family, so my wife and the children, we sat in it, fiddled around. And there was no doubt the Polestar 4 felt like a more fun and interesting car for a family. It's got really nice sort of way that you can change the interior colors based on the themes. They're planetary-based themes. But having that kind of ambience within the car just felt a little bit nicer and more interesting. It's got these seats at the back that you can electronically control the tilt to a degree, which everybody liked. And the boot space is also very, very good. And it just actually looked a little bit nicer, I think, from the outside. Got a slightly odd mirror thing with the camera. I'm not sure what that'll be like. But the center console doesn't have the piano black. It's got a much nicer design to it that actually kind of looks more premium. And I really like the sort of landscape display of the interface, which is the same as the Tesla. So then, having a look at prices, there's some incredible deals on at the moment. The Polestar 4, you can get them on a lease for less than £400 ex VAT at the moment, with about 3 months deposit, which amazingly is probably about, I don't know, £180 less than my Tesla Model Y lease. Yet it's quite a pricey car. So I don't know if these are introductory deals or if it just happens to be the way that the leasing deals are structured. So I thought, you know what, let's go for it. The Polestar 4 it will be. So my decision is to send the Tesla back a little bit early, save on some of those monthly payments that I would have been spending on the Tesla. I'm going to be paying less per month for the Polestar 4. So that offsets the cost of returning the car early on the lease. But I'm really excited, and that basically means I'm going to have a Polestar again, hopefully in the not too distant future, and a great opportunity to make some more videos. Over the last couple of years, we've also driven other electric cars. We had a Kia Soul EV for 3 years on a lease, and then that was replaced this year by the Ioniq 5 dual motor, which we really enjoy driving. And that's something that I've realized that this is no disrespect to Tesla as a car. They are fantastic cars, but they are not perfect. The best thing about the Tesla is probably the space. The boot's absolutely huge. It's a very comfortable car when you need to transport lots of things. You've got a family, you need lots of suitcases, but it's not the most enjoyable car to drive. It feels big and kind of a little bit unrefined on the road, really rough suspension. Driving the Ioniq 5 is a totally different experience. It is much more enjoyable, I'd say, personally, to drive. It's a much more comfortable car to be in. And it's also got Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, which, to be honest, you don't need it in the Tesla because of its own system. But I do find it quite irritating that I can't easily respond to WhatsApp messages. Yes, you can talk to your iPhone using the method that you normally would do. But the problem I find is that it doesn't always work very well. And then I can't sort of see what's going on the screen. I end up glancing down at the phone, which you shouldn't be doing while you're driving. So I'm looking forward to going to a car that has Apple CarPlay built into it, which the Polestar 4 does, using a wireless system. So it's super easy to integrate. You can use it if you want. You don't have to. It's kind of a shame that Tesla doesn't have that. So many great features in a Tesla. I mean, I've enjoyed driving this car, but it is very interesting. Tesla's not your only option anymore. There are plenty of other cars out there that are just as good, possibly better in some areas, to consider. So the good news is I'm going to be making some more videos, a couple of Tesla ones to come, and then hopefully moving over to the Polestar 4. And yeah, it's just going to be nice to make a few more videos for the channel, and I hope you enjoy what's coming up. Thank you.